Hi, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project, sitting here in front of my tarped tiny house on wheels. I haven't touched it today. For one, it was brutally hot. I worked at the lumber yard this morning. I worked for 3.5 hours, and he had me fill a container full of heavy, soggy, rotten wood. Big container. So I must have lifted quite a few thousand pounds of wood, but it was over 90 degrees and humid, so I don't feel well again. So I haven't done anything today except for study tiny house design and construction. Now this is a book that some of you may remember that I received in the mail, and I have read this book through and through multiple times. And I want to talk to you about the floor, which seems to be a topic of much discussion and stress and anguish for many, including myself. This is on standby. It's on hold for now until I continue researching. I spent the whole afternoon researching about proper construction methods, about RV and camper design, tiny home design and construction methods, and I still don't have a solution. This is a very good book. It's got so many amazing details about every part of the home, tiny home design. This is from tinyhomebuilders.com, and these guys show literally what I did. I looked at my RV. There's a sheet of aluminum, there's the framing, there's insulation in the framing, there's the subfloor. There's no vapor barrier, there's no gaps, there's no breathing space. That is because it's a mobile trailer, basically. It drives down the road, and water and dirt and slop get sloshed up, and that has to be a complete enclosed area underneath. Camper design. This camper had a thick sheet of plastic, the wood framing, insulation, subfloor, no vapor barrier, and a sealed compartment in the flooring. Truck camper design. You've got an aluminum bottom, you've got your wooden framing, you've got insulation, you've got your subfloor. No vapor barrier, no holes for breathing. Tiny home design, and I've looked at this thoroughly today. I studied and analyzed the photos on the flooring. And even when they take a flatbed, because it was really making me think about the flatbed trailers, I thought, well, maybe because they use a flatbed. No, the guys recommend taking your flatbed and removing every second board on the flatbed trailer, exposing the bottom of your home. Then they lay down flashing, then they put on the framing of the floor, then they put in insulation, then their subfloor. No vapor barrier. Still, I'm uncomfortable about the mold and the condensation idea on the aluminum. Everybody does it. RVs, campers, tiny homes, metal, wood, subfloor, no vapor barrier, no ventilation. But now, with all the comments and everybody talking, I am concerned about mold and about condensation. Why don't they do it? I don't know. I'm going to contact these guys and ask them, why don't they have any vapor barrier, and do they have trouble with mold? Because these guys build homes for sale all the time. All the tiny houses I've seen, a tiny house is a little bit different from a normal home because it's mobile. Because the bottom has to be sealed to stop the water from getting inside, and dirt and bugs. Because when you're in a camping environment, how a camper is designed, you will have more bugs and mice invading. And I'm looking here, open framing, flashing, floor framing, subfloor, no vapor barrier. So I'm not saying that I don't think it's necessary, but now I'm confused. Now, one thing they did use here is foam insulation, and I've been talking to a guy for quite a long time on the phone tonight about using a closed cell foam insulation on top of my rock wool. which will give me added insulation benefits. But if I put in a closed cell insulation, a rigid foam insulation, use closed cell spray foam around that to seal any gaps and leaks, I've essentially got a vapor barrier, and whatever happens in that section, nothing can penetrate either way. That will be a completely closed off box down there. And my subfloor will be protected from anything that goes on down here. Rock wool is supposed to be mold resistant, mold proof, whatever anyway. So maybe I'm going to go with that. I'm really thinking about it now. So I want to thank you all for getting me thinking. Now in the construction of my flooring, the way I'm laying the sheets of plywood is how I'm going to stick with it. I really gave it a lot of thought. I've looked at your comments, and I've really gotten a lot of advice and talked to people. But I'm going to stick with how I've got. I've got a full 4x8, another 4x8, and a 2x8, a 2x8, a 4x8, and a 4x8, a 4, a 4, and a 2. That's how I'm going to go with it, because of the fact that I'm going to keep this floor. It's going to be my floor, and I don't want seams and gaps all over the place. If it was a subfloor, a different story. But in this way, then I can deal with the seams better. And I'm putting the support underneath. So far it feels really rigid and firm, so I'm happy with that. But I am going to have a solid piece of plywood sheet in the dead center where the two halves overlap, and then I'll work out from there. So that should alleviate any stress and worries that a lot of you may have on that. So I don't know people, why do campers and RVs and tiny homes not have ventilation in the floor? Why is there no vapor barrier? I don't know. I'm lost, and until I figure out what to do here, why they have it this way, I'm not going to proceed. You know, I'm not a bullheaded idiot. I'm listening to what you say. But I'm at a loss right now, so this stops and waits. Now I did say I'm using hurricane straps. The front of the floor is bolted to the trailer frame. The front half is bolted on. I am going to use hurricane straps underneath all the way along from front to back. Once I get the two halves bolted together, right now they're two separate floor halves still, and the back half is just sitting on there. It's not attached. I am going to attach them in the next day or so here, and then on payday on Thursday I'll be able to get the hurricane straps and strap the whole thing down around the framing across each floor joist. Might be overkill, maybe every second floor joist is sufficient, but that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, people, I'm open to advice. Please don't be shouting at me and freaking out at me about what I've done already. It's not too late to change, and I'm seriously considering all the advice. So thank you very much, and I'm going to rush in and get this video uploaded right away so that you can see. I'm going to try to figure this out. I really want to do this right. So I'm not doing anything else until I get this squared away. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to go in and upload this.